My patient Maria had all the classic signs of declining fertility, but her doctor told her everything was normal. She was 41, exhausted, and having night sweats, and her periods were becoming irregular. Yet, her lab work came back with everything within the normal range. 6 months after addressing her body's safety signals, she conceived naturally, and now we have a healthy baby girl. Hi, I'm Dr. Omatma, naturopathic fertility specialist, and for nearly 20 years, I've been helping couples get pregnant naturally when conventional medicine has missed the underlying causes. Your body sends warning signs months or even years before fertility issues show up on standard tests. Today, I'll share 7 hidden signs your fertility is declining and the exact steps to reverse them before it's too late. Let's talk about the concept of body safety and why it's so crucial for your fertility. Your body is incredibly intelligent. When it doesn't feel safe, whether you have stress, inflammation, toxins, or nutrient deficiencies, it prioritizes survival over reproduction. Think about it. From the evolutionary perspective, if your body is in a state of perceived danger, it's not the ideal time to bring new life into the world. Your reproductive system is essentially a luxury function that only operates optimally when all other systems are balanced. Conventional medicine often misses these early warning signs because they're looking for disease, not dysfunction. They're checking if your hormones fall within a wide normal range, but not if they're optimal for fertility. These signals are your body's way of telling you something's wrong before it becomes a fertility crisis. By recognizing and addressing these things early, you can often restore your fertility naturally without expensive interventions. When I talk about body safety, I'm referring to the conditions that allow your body to thrive, not just to survive. Your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or HPA axis, is constantly monitoring your internal and external environment, asking, is it safe? Is it okay to reproduce? If the answer is no, because of chronic stress, inflammation, toxicity, nutrient depletion, or a whole host of other things, your body diverts resources away from reproduction towards the more immediate survival needs of yourself. Research published in the Journal of Endocrinology showed that chronic activation of the stress response suppresses reproductive hormones. Aim at least 20 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast. This sets your blood sugar pattern up for the entire day. Space your meals about 4 to 5 hours apart without snacking. This allows your insulin levels to reset. If you're constantly eating, your insulin is constantly elevated, which can lead to insulin resistance and impact the ovaries around ovulation and egg quality. Key nutrients for metabolic health include chromium, magnesium, and zinc. Research in fertility and sterility found that women with higher intake of these minerals had better ovulatory function. Next, let's optimize sleep and circadian rhythm. Your reproductive hormones follow a circadian cycle, just like your sleep-wake cycle. Disrupting the sleep-wake cycle disrupts your fertility. The most important powerful intervention is getting morning sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking up. This resets your cortisol rhythm and improves melatonin production at night. Avoiding blue light from screens at least 2 hours before bed is also really important. If that's not possible, use blue light blocking glasses. A study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that just 2 hours of blue light exposure in the evening suppressed melatonin production by 38%. It's also very helpful to create a sleep sanctuary. Your bedroom should be completely dark, cool between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and free from electromagnetic fields. Remove all electronics and put them in airplane mode, and make sure to turn off that Bluetooth signal. Last but not least, creating a consistent sleep-wake cycle, even on the weekends, meaning you wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time every single day, It has been shown to be supportive of reproduction and increase reproductive hormones by 47%. Last but not least, if you're still struggling with sleep, low dose melatonin can be helpful. And research has shown that melatonin not only improves sleep, but also acts as a potent antioxidant for the ovaries and supports improvements in egg quality. Next, let's talk about toxins. Environmental toxins are everywhere, and many of them are endocrine disruptors that directly impact fertility. A 2018 study in human reproduction found that women with higher levels of BPA, phthalates, and parabens took significantly longer to conceive. Start by eliminating the biggest offenders: plastic food containers, conventional cleaning products, and personal body care products, with fragrances in particular. Stop using those candles and sprays to make your home smell good. Find alternatives. Next, make sure to filter your air and your water. Both can be significant sources of toxins, and a good quality water filter that removes heavy metals, pesticides, and pharmaceutical residues is essential. If you're not sure where to go, I'm going to link my Divas Detox guide below, which actually walks you through good water filters, good air purifiers, and gives you access to all of the brands that I love that support our body and our home to be toxin free. Support your body's natural detox with specific nutrients. Things like N-acetylcysteine at 600 milligrams daily has been shown to improve liver detoxification and increase egg quality. Milk thistle and dandelion root are also evidence-based herbs to support the liver. Next, let's heal that gut function. The gut fertility connection is powerful, and I've talked about it so many times on this channel. Your gut microbiome influences estrogen metabolism. What's happening in your gut directly impacts inflammatory levels, and it's going to determine whether or not you absorb the nutrients from your food as well as your supplements. All of these are critical for fertility. A good starting point is an elimination diet to identify food sensitivities. I will admit this is not my favorite way to identify food sensitivities, but it's a really good starting point. The most common culprits are gluten, dairy, soy, and corn. If you can remove these for at least 30 days and reintroduce them one at a time to see how your body responds, you will have eliminated the most common culprits. Unfortunately, if you actually have gut symptoms, this technique alone is not adequate to determine if you have food sensitivities. You could have food sensitivities to perfectly healthy foods like kale and tomatoes, and you would never know it because you wouldn't eliminate it on an elimination diet. So, if you have any symptoms, then actually testing your food sensitivities is really important, but don't be fooled. Please don't get the IgG food sensitivity tests that are commonly available via the internet. There are companies promoting their food sensitivity testings as the end all be all, and please be mindful that those are often a waste of money. Unfortunately, the best food sensitivity tests are going to be called mediated response tests, and they are only available through functional medicine providers. But those tests test your entire immune reaction, not just one specific immune cell to a specific food. So essentially, you want the most accurate read of whether or not you have food sensitivities and which foods you're actually reactive to from a global perspective in your gut. Including fermented foods daily is also a really great idea. Things like sauerkraut, kimchi, or non-dairy kefir are wonderful ways to support the microbiome in your gut. These provide beneficial bacteria that support hormone metabolism, along with absorption of nutrients, decreasing inflammation, and a whole ton of other things. Specific probiotics can be helpful for reproductive health. Research in the Journal of Ovarian Research found that Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium strains improved hormone balance and fertility outcomes. For gut healing, I recommend the 4R approach. Remove the irritants, replace digestive enzymes, and even hydrochloric acid if needed, re-inoculate with probiotics, and repair with nutrients like L-glutamine, zinc, and aloe vera. Last but not least, we have to work on the stress. Chronic stress is perhaps the most significant fertility disruptor because it affects every other system in your body. Adaptogenic herbs have research backing for fertility. Ashwagandha has been shown to reduce cortisol levels by up to 30% and improve thyroid function. Ashwagandha is even wonderful for men and improving sperm health. Rhodiola is one of my favorite herbs, and it helps balance the HPA axis and has been shown to normalize menstrual cycles in women with stress-induced amenorrhea. Mind-body practices are equally important. A Harvard study found that women who participated in a mind-body program had more than double the pregnancy rates compared to women who did not participate in that mind-body program. One of my simple tools that I invite clients to practice with is something called body scanning. The research shows that 5 minutes of body scanning reduce stress hormones by up to 30%, which is pretty amazing. All you need to do is start from the top of your head or your feet, does not matter, and you're scanning your body as if you were a machine that was scanning your body. You're scanning all the areas, making a note of what it feels like, and then moving on to the next part. Breathe, 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 and just scan that body in a very gentle way. It's a really easy practice. And if you can do that for 5 minutes every day, I suggest it when you wake up or when you're going to bed is a really easy time to practice that. And often you will drift right into sleep if you're doing it at bedtime. If you are a data geek like myself, you can track your progress with heart rate variability monitors, which measure your nervous system balance. Many wearable devices can now track this, and increasing HRV correlates to increased fertility outcomes. To assess your fertility status beyond standard tests, request these additional markers: a complete thyroid panel that includes TSH, free and total T3, free and total T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies. You want to also confirm that your doctor is testing you for fasting insulin, glucose, and hemoglobin A1C to calculate insulin resistance. Inflammatory markers like high sensitivity, C-reactive protein, and homocysteine are really essential. Nutrient levels, especially like vitamin D, B12, folate, and ferritin, can be tested in blood. And cortisol rhythm testing, which is usually a salivary cortisol or urinary cortisol with 4 points throughout the day that it's being tested. Those are the bare minimum of a complete holistic functional fertility assessment. We go way beyond this even to assess the quality of the nutrients that you're taking in, your vaginal microbiome, and even your metabolism of hormones. So those are the next level of tests, but the list that I just gave you is a really good starting point. When you're working with a conventional provider, asking for these tests is really super important. If you're following the protocol that I have laid out in this video, you should expect to see improvements in your warning signs and symptoms within 6 to 8 weeks of implementing this protocol. However, since egg development takes up to 90 days, give yourself at least 3 months before expecting to see changes in any fertility markers as well as actually getting pregnant. If you are still struggling after that point, or you're not seeing improvements in the signs and symptoms that you started with, then it's really important to get support sooner rather than later. There's no point in waiting because this is not going away, but your fertility might. Track your progress beyond the standard fertility markers by monitoring your energy levels throughout the day, sleep quality, and how refreshed you feel when you wake up, your temperature stability. Do you have fewer cold extremities and or fewer night sweats, digestive comfort and regularity, and cognitive clarity and emotional stability. These are all things that don't directly tell you that your fertility is better, but I promise you that when you have addressed these symptoms and you see improvement in all of these things, you are going to markedly improve your fertility because you have just spent your time and energy improving your body safety. Again, remember that the body safety is core. And if your body does not feel safe, metabolically, environmentally, physiologically safe, then it is going to be more likely to put yourself in survival mode rather than reproduction mode. So increasing the safety in your body is an absolute must. And these are things, very simple things that you can integrate into your life today. You do not need to wait. You don't need testing. Most of what I have shared here are things that you can go and apply right now. As I said, if you are not seeing improvement within 6 to 8 weeks, it's really important to get a specialist on board so that you don't lose any time on your ovarian clock. There are a few other red flags that indicate that you should consult a specialist immediately. These include no periods for more than 3 months, extremely heavy bleeding, soaking through a pad or tampon more than every hour, severe pain with periods or ovulation, sudden onset of hot flashes or night sweats, and a family history of early menopause. To summarize what we've covered today, your body sends clear warning signs when your fertility is declining, often months and years before standard tests show problems. By recognizing these signals and restoring body safety, you can reverse fertility naturally. Remember Maria, who I mentioned at the beginning? Her doctors had missed the subtle thyroid dysfunction, gut inflammation, and adrenal fatigue that were causing her fertility to decline. By addressing these root causes and implementing the steps that I shared here today, she restored her body's sense of safety. Her energy improved, her night sweats disappeared, her cycles regulated, and she got pregnant naturally without any other interventions at 41. Your body wants to be fertile. It's designed to reproduce. When you restore safety by addressing these underlying imbalances, you restore your reproductive potential. If you have found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. I have created a free guide for you that is in the notes, so make sure you check the show notes below for a free fertility blueprint guide as well as the Divas Detox guide. Those are going to be the two best resources to help you take this video, put it into action, and take your fertility to the next level. Until next time, remember that your fertility is a reflection of your overall health, and by creating safety in your body, you create the optimal environment for new life to begin. I'll see you next time. Peace.